The Todd Shapiro Show.
Time to hit the button!
On Canada Talks, SiriusXM 167.
Do we have my man Darren Gill on the line?
Yes, we do.
From Namaste Technologies.com. Darren Gill, is that you?
It could almost be.
Whereabouts are you? In Vancouver, in Toronto? Where are you?
I'm back in Vancouver, man.
Hey, can I ask you a business question about Namaste Technologies?
Sure.
Like on a business, you guys are doing quite well.
It's been good. You know, I think we've been going through quite a lot of turnaround and cleanup, and things are starting to look a lot better for us.
And cash friendly business too, from what I understand, in terms of past earnings and raises and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely in a healthy cash balance position, and I think well equipped to continue to execute on our business plan. So it's been good. Well,
and the reason why I ask is because people need to be careful about companies that you do invest to in terms of what their burn rates are and what cash they actually have, and it's nice to know that there are some companies that are actually running it carefully, and really at the end of the day, especially with publicly traded companies, not burning through people's money too quick.
No, I think that's one thing that we've been actively working on. I think there was a few interesting events in the cannabis space this week around some changes at some large companies, but a lot of our management team is focused on realigning, kind of focusing on fundamentals, and ultimately, we have had a cash burn historically, but we're investing to scale the business, and hopefully that's going to be shown through continued growth.
What do you make of the departure of Bruce Linton over Canopy Growth?
I think at the end of the day that, the board there did what they had to do, and, Constellation holds a significant amount of influence over there. But I think that speaks to the pivot the cannabis industry is going through now. If you're one of the big guys, I think the markets are now looking to start measuring you on fundamentals of profitability. When are you going to start to get cash positive? Where do you start to scale and ultimately be able to sustain your own growth? Where I think companies, similar to Namaste, where we're still at an early growth phase, I think you'll still notice a little bit of leniency from the market in regards to profitability, as long as you're able to show that year-over-year growth that the market's looking for, because fundamentally you're investing to either scale the business or you have a significant market share and you're optimizing to get profitable.
Yeah, I think I saw on Canopy anyway that they spent something like maybe $300 million only to earn $90 million. And, those could be rough numbers. I could be wrong with that. But that is really what investors are starting to see. I agree with you with the big companies and going, wait a second here. You've had enough time. You should have enough customers. And by the way, I'm obviously very, I've known Bruce and I've always been very fond of him in the past. But, like any good CEO, you obviously want your companies to start doing well, not just get market share in terms of marketing and data and all that kind of stuff. You got to start showing some profitability. And you're right, with maybe the smaller cap companies, you're sitting here going, hey, there's still great growth. Great growth is important, and we're not breaking the bank here. Whereas, if you're really breaking the bank, investors might pull back.
No, absolutely. And I think that's where, with the way Namaste is working to position themselves is more being that disruptor or that agitator in the space. Where, we've got unlimited growth potential in front of us, especially as we work to build out our technology and our platforms. We announced a couple weeks ago now, I believe, we did a deal with a pet company, our friends over at Truleaf there. And, that's now another, we're doing hemp-based pet treats here in Canada. We'll be looking at the right international opportunities for their CBD product line, as soon as we're able to do that, bringing that into Canada as well. But it really diversifying from just flower to, hopefully we'll be able to get oils and stuff going here very, very shortly. We're well positioned to capitalize on edibles and concentrates as soon as those come down the pipe. So for us, it's a lot more about growing that product portfolio and being able to partner with everybody in the space. I think the way we've positioned ourselves, our growth into the future is really going to be reliant on the industry as a whole continuing to grow and expand, which, really places you in a unique position where the sky is the limit as long as there's a new market to get into, we can be, in there with our platform, with our technology, helping enable other LPs, be it local or importers that are looking to get product into that country, to be able to list their products, bring approved traffic to a location, and allow them to have a seamless user experience.
Darren Gill is joining us from Namaste Technology. So tell some of the listeners, if you could, the difference between like how you can talk about a hemp-based product as opposed to a CBD-based product.
So hemp here in Canada, if you're doing the extractions and all of that, hemp is still regulated, very, very similar to cannabis. But when you're using things like hemp hearts, we can go down to Costco and buy hemp heart oat cereal. That's the hemp that I'm referring to. We haven't derived anything, but it is a hemp-based product line. So that today is fairly easy, especially when you're getting into things like pet food to be able to get through. There's lots of cosmetic lines that are now starting to come through, and we're exploring the right opportunities for us to be able to partner there as well. I think anybody who's looking for this alternative types of products are open to exploring hemp as well as cannabis, and I think as a stopgap, a line of hemp products is a great way to go. And, I think in particular on the pet food side of things, the reason we chose to partner with TrueLeaf and their pet food line of supplements is, there are a lot of folks that really, really believe in the properties of CBD and THC when it comes to taking care of their pets. And unfortunately, they're self-medicating at home, and there's no controlled dosages and all, in what they're giving their pets. And they're fundamentally running a risk of potentially having an ill effect, when they're actually genuinely trying to help their little friend out. And that's where, we loved what they were doing over there. And, when the opportunity came up, it was a no-brainer for us to want to partner with them.
And it's TrueLeaf, LIEF, right?
Yeah. LEAF.
Okay, sorry. Oh, it is LEAF.
Yeah.
Okay, for some reason I thought it was different. That's my apologies. And where can people get, like, can you talk about where people can get those pet stuff? Like, is that only on the platform at Namaste Technologies or where?
From an online perspective, we will be offering it here in Q3, where we're expecting a launch here within the next kind of hopefully 45-ish days. And currently they're available in your local pet stores as well. You can get them on the shelves, but from an online distribution platform, for us it was important that, when folks are on there looking for their medical cannabis, looking for their accessories, why not grab something for your furry little friend at home as well.
Oh, that's so neat, man. I'm just reading about it, and I have an anxious dog, so it's something I'm definitely going to look into. And I mean, he's anxious because I'm his owner. It's very difficult there for him not to be, right? He's got me.
I was going to say, I think that has a little bit to do with you as well.
And a Canadian company, though, right? TrueLeaf?
Yeah, no, Canadian company up here in BC and in Vernon. Great group of guys and girls over there. So it was definitely a match made in puppy heaven.
Yeah, and we're seeing so many, obviously, wonderful stories, I think, about the acceptance really now more than ever of the importance of a dog in an individual's life. You hear men being far more open about how important a dog is to them, to help them, relax and love and be emotional and be connected. And obviously you see what, pets can do for children and get them connected. And I think that, I love that as a business level. I'm such a dog advocate. And I think some of my other guests on the program, like a guy like Ari Goldkind, who's a pretty, rough and tough and opinionated, conservative leaning sort of, powerful attorney. But yet, when he talks about his dog, like you feel really connected and you just love it. That's something we all have in common. We want to make sure we take care of our pets is what I'm saying.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, I think even the fact that it's now become mainstream as your first step in a relationship, the second you've got a pet together, things are far too serious.
Well said. And I was just reading on the TrueLeaf. If you go to them, follow them on their Twitter right there. A lot of nice stuff about talking about pets and what they do for those with PTSD and stuff, post-traumatic stress disorder, and wonderful, wonderful causes that they get involved in. Namaste Technologies.com getting involved in as well. Any other news on the horizon?
Well, on that note, actually, so when we do launch, and we'll make sure we get on the show and allow for your listeners to know when that date is a little bit closer. For the first month, a portion of proceeds, 10% of all the revenue coming in the door is actually going to go to work with animal shelters to be able to help protect pets in local communities throughout Canada.
Oh, I love to hear that, man. That's a really wonderful initiative. And where to go again for that?
That'll be right when we launch. We're going to be running a full month-long promotion with them as part of their Return on the Love program. And, Namaste and CanMart are proud to be involved in that.
Hey, Darren, I'm off next week, but the week back headed towards August there. Maybe we can get the team on there to talk about that as well with you guys.
Absolutely. That would be great.
I would absolutely love that. I don't even know. Are you a dog owner or a cat owner?
No, I've got we've got two dogs. I've got a Chow Chow and a little Pomeranian mix as well.
Oh, come on. Are they little nut bags too? You know, these little guys running around?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Pomeranian's taken in a special liking with my daughter lately, and it's amazing how much she puts up with her, but she's gotten to the age now where she's constantly dropping food off the high chair. So I think he just puts up with the abuse because he likes a free meal at the end of it.
Dude, it's funny. I know. Like I watch my little guy who's 12 years old, my little Yorkshire Terrier, and it's crazy, man. I had a little dog by myself as a single dude downtown Toronto. Like I was called terrible names 12 years ago for like it's wild the newer acceptance for small dogs. But like I was the stereotypical grossness that I was called in names for having a little dog in the day. It's I love how we've just really opened up as a society and we're much more accepting, thank goodness, for men owning little dogs, really. And but you're right. I watched the bond that my dog has with my boy, and it's the same. And I'm like, nah, it's because he's getting food from him every 2 seconds. Oh goodness.
Exactly.
Well, listen, man, I'm always loving these catch-ups here with the Namaste Technologies, and I know how hard your team is working, how diligent you are, and just making sure that obviously you're doing well by shareholders and clearly continue to increase sales. And it's a very interesting game, this cannabis game right now. It's an emerging industry, and it is still very early stages. How long's Namaste been around for, though, now?
Namaste has been around for quite a few years now. Historically, as a vaporizer and accessories provider, we've gotten into the cannabis space really since October 17th. We launched with our LP CanMart, but we've been slowly working to acquire more and more products. I think we've got one of the largest SKU diversities for flower today in the space. We're actively waiting to get our oils license to be able to start offering that. We're really trying to build this one-stop shop experience, and our shareholders that have been nice enough to be patient coming through this process, and coming through some of the challenges and issues we've had. We really, really appreciate their continued support, and I think we're going to be turning a corner here very, very shortly, especially as you look at the wholesale price of cannabis throughout Canada is coming down and down continually. It's opening up a lot more SKU diversity for us, a lot more better price points for our customers. And, fundamentally, I think it just begs the question. You can continue to register with one LP at a time and buy one set of products, or you can really come to a marketplace that's really trying to build a movement towards this platform where we will open up as many SKUs as possible. We've got some real cool, unique products with some little tasters. We're going to be working on some cool sample packs. And the idea, again, is there's 300 strains out there. How do people know what works well for them? Last week we heard many talk a little bit about the AI, but there's a lot of stuff that we're doing to continually try to move this marketplace movement forward. And I think we've got some great stuff coming down the pipeline for the folks that have been patient enough with us.
Do you guys have like a model over at Namaste?
Motto over at Namaste is really been the everything cannabis store for the last little bit, and that's fundamentally what we've continued to try to build. Is we want to make it that one-stop user experience. We don't want to have a user that has to come to us for one product, go somewhere else for another. That's the reason we're actively focused on things like concentrates, oils, edibles, pet food. We're looking at what we can do from a grow equipment space. We're looking at what we can do with seeds. We want to really be able to build that experience where if you think of cannabis, I want you to think of CanMart. I want that to be the place that people go to.
Yeah, people forget about that, rules with, legalization in terms of like growing 4 plants at home and stuff like that. Like there would be tools and accessories you might need for that. So I can understand why, that might be something you'd want to do too.
No, absolutely. And that's an important section of the market that we've realized, and we're actively working our network to be able to get the right relationships and again continue to grow the product offering.
And any trade shows or anything that you're at for potential future investors that maybe want to get to know the team and ask more questions?
We're currently working through our schedule, but as they come up, we'll definitely be sure to let you and the general public know.
Great. Well, we really appreciate it. And, as we are sort of educational and business-focused program here, I think it's so great that you share with this and are so open with your shareholders in terms of what you've done and sort of future plans for the company and your great team over there at Namaste Technologies. Thanks for your time, Darren Gill. And, don't let your kid get your dogs too fat, okay?
We'll try.
Cheers. Well, enjoy the next week. We'll catch up again the week after and look forward to moving forward with everything.
Excellent. Thank you, Todd.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
Darren Gill from NamasteTechnologies.com.
This is the Todd Shapiro Show on Canada Talks, SiriusXM 167.